Hi everyone, we are looking at Psalm 22 today as we continue our series in the Incarnate and leading ourselves up to the day of Christmas, where we recognize God sending His Son in the form of a babe and taking on flesh and blood and skin that we carry, and really even the suffering that we do. And we look at Psalm 22, and it is all about the psalmist's suffering. And almost everyone agrees it's David writing. We just don't know what specific occasion he's writing about, but there's a deep suffering that comes with this. Now, admittedly, Psalm 22 is long enough and so many different things that we could come up with so many devotional ideas. But I want to focus and hone in on just a couple things here. First of all, I am a huge advocate of when I read something, that when an author lifts my thinking or lifts my spirit as he writes. And Frederick Buechner is one of these guys who wrote a while ago when he said this: "As the farthest reach of our love for each other is loving our enemies, as the farthest reach of God's love for us is loving us at our most unlovable and unlovely, so the farthest reach of our love for God is loving Him when in almost every way that matters we can neither see Him nor hear Him. When the worst of the wilderness for us is the fear that He has forsaken us, if indeed He exists at all." As David is experiencing this anguish, he cites some very famous words right off the bat. My God, why have you forsaken me?" Which are repeated again on Good Friday as Jesus is hanging on the cross just before He breathes His last. Now, what does this have to do with Christmas? Well, I like what Holden Miller says when he says that if you sever Christmas from Good Friday, the result would be doom, for Christmas has nothing more than a time to be merry and happy based on just lore. We can't separate Christmas from Good Friday. And as we read these words of David, and then he goes on in the psalm, first talking about, my God, why have you forsaken me? And he talks about his experience and how he feels, and he projects that onto God. And he says, but if you rescue me as the gods, or as the fathers of old, as you worked in their lives, I will project your name. Your name will be lifted higher than every other name. This is a season we get to do that. This is a season that brings us back, that when we think about God showing up in the form of Jesus in our flesh and blood and taking on the sinfulness of the world, and living that out in such a perfect way, in only the way that God could possibly design. We rest heavily in that when we cry out, my God, why have you forsaken me? We can look upon the babe born in the manger as one who was rejected, who can truly utter those same words. And we say, God, you are truly with us. And so it has every bit to do with the Christmas season. So think about that. And then the devotional thought for today is, know that God has taken on your anguish. I don't know what this season brings up for you. I don't know if there's an element of the Christmas season that just reminds you only of loss, that maybe you have lost a loved one. Maybe you are reminded as people gather as a family that there is strife in yours, and it makes gathering very difficult, if not impossible. I don't know if there's a relationship that has been strained to the point that it's very difficult to talk about anything real or meaningful. I don't know that when you get together with your family that you are the only believer, and it feels as if you are on a mission trip and you're on guard as you feel like you're the lone protector of the real meaning of this season. I don't know if any of that's true for you or not. But you have an opportunity to bless in your words, to bless in your presence as you carry a message that speaks directly to the suffering and anguish that all of us get to feel as we navigate through this season and through this part of the world, honestly. That how you feel is every bit to do with the Christmas season. And so I want you to be aware of that, and do not hesitate in bringing God His due glory from you as you bring worship and praise, knowing that this season is not a season of loss, but truly is a season of the gain of the relationship we get to have through Christ, the Messiah born on Christmas Day. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll be talking to you very soon.